Right, this is a walk around video for a wonderful car. This is a Lexus IS250 and it's the SEL model, 2008, with just 21,000 miles on the clock. And it really is an extraordinary vehicle in extraordinary condition, of course. Finished in this beautiful kind of ice blue. I'm in the shade, by the way, not for any other reason than sunny days are lovely, but they're awful for videos and you can't see anything. It just glares. So this is actually the best way of doing it, hopefully. Lights and lenses clear, intact, no cracks, no condensation. Front bumper lovely and clean. Likewise, bonnet of the car exhibits a couple of very minor stone chips. The paintwork is lovely in original from what I can see on the car, and that means whilst it is absolutely beautiful, it will have a few very minor age-related marks, but the panel work near side indentation free. Near side front alloy really good, just a bit of curbing right on the outside edge, a tiny bit of pickling coming just around the Lexus badge there in the middle, but considering they're original and most on this age are pretty awful, these are in wonderful condition, again lovely and original. Near side rear in just lovely condition, again just the lightest of curbing. Around the back, lovely and clean. On the back, all the way around, really nice. Offside of the vehicle, there is, I can see, I mean it probably will just buff off, but you can see it's just a tiny little mark there, which may polish, may just touch in, but I've just been stupidly critical of the vehicle. Offside rear alloy, again absolutely superb. The remaining panels on the side are really nice, but just with the odd, as I said, very light mark on there. And then offside front alloy, again really good, just with a bit of pickling on the inside by the spokes, by the wheel nuts, and a tiny bit of curbing on the outside, but it really is in wonderful condition. Coming into the boot area, really good sized boot, as expected of Lexus, absolutely beautifully finished in here as well. So coming inside the car now, the interior just looks pretty much as new. It is in absolutely stunning condition. Leatherwork is exceptional. It looks as though the back of the car has hardly been used at all. Coming to the front on the passenger side, again all in absolutely gorgeous condition. Seats on the passenger side, again exhibits virtually zero wear. Absolutely amazing. Let's come to the driver's side. Door card, again, just wonderful condition there. Footwell area beautifully clean. And the driver's seat, the one takes all of the wear, exhibits virtually nothing at all. So inside the car now, engine's running through this section so the dash can be seen illuminated, as I always try and do. And it just looks, I just can't see anywhere, it just looks brand new in here. It's absolutely incredible. Come up to the main binnacle. You see just the fuel light on currently, 21,553 miles, simply extraordinary. But the video doesn't really do justice to how nice this car is. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video and one I've been very much looking forward to doing actually. This is for a Lexus IS250 SEL, so it's the top of the range car. Registered LY08XBN and mileage is 21,543. It is quite a remarkable car. Before I go on about the car, the reason we do these videos is basically so that if anyone's looking online at our cars, they get to see the cars we're actually advertising in operation. And the reason we do that is because we have, to our cost, found out when going to see a car that when you get there, it, although looked perfectly good in the description and photographs, found out that it had issues or has had issues in the past, so that's why we do it. We also do it on part of the road test route we take any prospective buyers on. The reason for that is hopefully then it'll be representative of what you feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. However, I am going to be deviating slightly today because it is actually a bank holiday weekend, and not far from us is the A38, and it is absolutely chock-a-block because something's happened on the motorway, so I'm avoiding areas that I know could be potentially quite busy. But nonetheless, we'll be getting up to speed in a normal way, just in a slightly different direction. So coming to the car, I mean, it is an extraordinary vehicle in so many ways. Obviously, the ownership and history of the car first and foremost. With just 21,000 miles on the clock, it's rather unique to say the least. The fact that it's also been serviced all the way through, right up until literally 200 or 300 miles ago, by the same Lexus dealer all the way through numerous times. I can't remember what it is now, so 10 or 11 services from memory. And we've just serviced the vehicle purely on an annual basis. It just didn't need it. Oil was golden, nothing really needed doing, but it's just prudent to do it as we like to do. So coming to the car, starting with the engine, obviously push button starts instantly and settles to an absolutely smooth, even idle. No warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, aside that is from a low fuel light currently, but obviously a little bit of fuel will soon put that light out. Temperature gauge I'll do a little bit later in the video, only because I like when possible to do videos where the cars are cold, so you get when it's running cold and running hot, because obviously if there's any issues they can show at different temperatures, so I'll come back to that. But the engine is just a fantastic unit. They are so smooth and quiet, but it's got some real guts to it as well. I mean, it really does pull and it hauls beautifully, but when it does so just effortlessly. There's very few engines you're going to jump into and have such a sort of a sweet nature to it. It's docile at low speeds, but it just pulls and sort of crystallizes in power, but it does so just so smoothly. There's lots of good cars out there, but there's very few of this age that drive anything like this car. It really is quite an exceptional vehicle. Engine then goes through into the automatic gearbox, 6-speed. Again, as you'd expect from Lexus, beautiful quality of power delivery through the gearbox. Absolutely seamless in the way it goes about its business. Again, compared to some cars which can be a little bit uncouth, this one is wonderful in operation, notwithstanding reputation and reliability, because they are incredibly tough units. You should just do the normal checks when you're driving a car. Just make sure when stationary, putting into drive and reverse, that there's no great delays or thunks in engagement, and the gear changes on the move should be smooth to the point at which you shouldn't be able to feel them, and that's exactly what this feels. I mean, it's just absolutely, mechanically, it's an astonishing car, I have to say. Steering of the vehicle, helped by the fact that it's rear wheel drive and there's nothing to pollute the steering up front, is wonderfully, it feels just so oily. That's the best description I can give. Follows faithfully. It's got the perfect gearing to the steering, in my opinion, because if you go for an out-and-out sports car, which it isn't, I'm not going to pretend this is a sports car. It is not. It is it's very rewarding actually, but it sits in a lovely middle ground between something that really overtly sporting, like a 3 Series, where the steering can be even more direct, but it can be slightly unsettling. The other end of the scale would be something like a C-Class or an A4, which can be slightly slow-witted by comparison. This is just wonderful. It also tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at all at this speed, or any speed up to the legal limit. But it is a very, very nice power steering, because it makes the car feel so secure and solid on the road. Wonderful. Chassis of the car, again, it is in that middle ground, but it's for me it's perfect, because it's not as sort of slovenly as some. I find the A4 is very front heavy. The C-Class is probably closest in feel to it, which is a good thing. the 3 Series, again, depending on the model you get, wonderful cars, lovely balance to them. But if you're not in the mood, can feel quite harsh to use. This one said strikes a lovely compromise, which is what suspension's all about, between the two. But driving on roads like this, which are actually quite challenging roads, it's a lovely setup. It's really pitted road surface here, but you're very comfortable indeed in most circumstances. What I'm also looking for in road test, even with low mileage, is just listening out for any kind of mechanical noise, any sort of knocking coming from underneath the car that shouldn't be there, and there is nothing at all. It's absolutely spot on. Worth pointing out, it'll be going for an independent MOT in a couple of days' time, so all these things will be checked anyway, but as it stands, it just drives, cliched as it sounds, absolutely as new. Brakes on the car, I'm going to give them a bit of a thump, make sure no one's behind me. Really powerful brake pedal. Reason it's important on autos to check, of course, is that the braking's do more of the work than it would do in a conventional manual gearboxed car. So then you can quite often find a bit of pulsing or vibrations coming back to the brake pedal where they've been overworked, but that pedal's absolutely perfect. So coming inside the car, it's obviously just arrived to us. It's not been cleaned yet, but it's in just beautiful condition in here, and they're just a lovely place to sit. It's kind of intimate. You don't feel like you're in a massive car, far from it. You're in a spacious car, you've got plenty of room, but it is incredibly easy to get comfortable. Obviously you've got electric memory seats with power adjustment, so it's a doddle to find yourself a comfortable position and then memorize it. But the seats are really supportive, and the interior layout is beautifully done. For its time particularly, it's just a superbly built car, absolutely wonderfully built. Every button has an actuation, there's a precision to it, a damping to it that even the best Germans don't have, or they did, but they don't take the miles or the age as well as these do, in all honesty. In front here you've got this dead simple and easy to use dashboard. So you've got dual zone climate control system pumping out absolutely ice cold air. You've got a wonderful sound system on the vehicle, which is very high quality and lovely sound reproduction, with obviously 6 stack CD from memory. Heated and cooled seats on the SELs, and they're on now and cool, and it's lovely and cool, and I tried them with the heater on. That all works perfectly. Then directly in front of me, got beautiful dials, absolutely beautiful. Just the detailing of them, the information they impart is crystal clear. You're not having to kind of look and think what you're trying to read. It's just there. It's just beautifully done and seriously premium in the way it's presented. Temperature gauge running at just under a half now, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Lexus car, by the way. The seating position and driving position, perfect. Steering wheel feels like new to hold. The whole interior is just in beautiful condition, has to be said. As I said at the start of the video, the point of it is purely just to feed back any issues that might be on the car before anyone comes to us, but there's nothing at all. It drives absolutely beautifully, and I am, as you probably already gauged, completely biased. I simply love these cars. I should put my blinkers on, or I should take my blinkers off really, but I simply love them, and I think this is one of the nicest examples you're going to see. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call.